Here's your First Warn Weather forecast first. Sponsored by Anderson Collision Center. Visit driveanderson.com.
Well, after a few showers early this morning and a couple of rumbles of thunder, we have been mostly dry here for much of this afternoon. Temperature-wise, our numbers have actually been able to warm a bit, now climbing into the upper 70s, even a couple of spots reaching that 80-degree mark down in Sterling and Dixon. We're at 77 in Rockford, 78 currently in Rochelle, and 76 our temperature now in DeKalb. That cold front has passed us, working down to the south and southwest. There have been a few showers that have developed along that south of Interstate 80, and this is primarily where most of any precipitation will stay through this evening. While there may be an isolated shower, I think much of this evening actually looking to stay dry. Temperatures will steadily drop through those 70s back down into the lower 50s again for tonight, so a little bit of a cooler start tomorrow. But we've got a mostly dry weekend, maybe just a light passing shower late tomorrow into very early Saturday. So we'll look at that and what could be even a bigger cool down in a week's time. All coming up here in the First Warn forecast a little later.
New information on the Minneapolis school shooter. Investigators reveal the number of rounds he fired into a church filled with children.
Plus, an officer involved shooting earlier this year found to be justified. The charge the person shot now faces.
And a local softball player's up for Youth Athlete of the Year. How she's turning her personal trauma into a platform to support others.
Live from WTVO 17. This is Eyewitness News at 5.
Good evening, I'm Mimi Murphy.
And I'm Wendell Edwards. We thank you for being here.
Tonight at 5, we're learning new details about the mass shooter at a Catholic school in Minneapolis. Police say he fired 116 rifle rounds through stained glass windows of a church. 2 students were killed at the Annunciation Catholic School and 18 others were injured. The shooter, identified as 23-year-old Robin Westman, killed himself on the scene. The police chief says Westman had a fascination with previous mass shootings and was obsessed with the thought of killing defenseless children.
The shooter left behind hundreds of pages of writings that describe the shooter's plan, writings that describe the shooter's mental state, and more than anything, writings that describe the shooter's hate.
Authorities are also examining a YouTube video Westman allegedly posted before the attack. That video, though, has since been taken down.
No charges will be brought against 5 police officers involved in a Loves Park shooting in February. This comes following an investigation by the Winnebago-Boone County Integrity Task Force. February 26th, officers responded to a home on River Lane and learned Matthew Allison had been acting erratic and had an AK-style weapon. Allison was located on Sheridan Drive. According to the Winnebago County State's Attorney's Office, officers attempted to calm him down before Allison pointed the rifle. The officers shot nearly 40 rounds in response. Allison suffered 6 wounds and was taken to the hospital. Investigators say the AK was actually a water pellet gun. The Integrity Task Force says the shooting was justified. Allison is now charged with aggravated assault to a peace officer. He is due back in court in October.
A Rockford man pleads guilty to a carjacking a man and his son. As part of his plea, 28-year-old Ray Kevon Newton will now spend 16 years in prison. Police were called to the Mississippi Recreation Path near Nicholas Conservatory last August. The victim told officers 2 men robbed him at gunpoint of his car, wallet, and more. Officers later found the stolen car. Newton exited, attempted to run away, and kicked an officer during his arrest.
A man is seriously hurt in a fiery crash in Harvard after his SUV is hit by a freight train. Shortly before 2:30 this morning, Harvard fire crews responded to a railroad crossing on McGuire Road. They found an SUV engulfed in flames about a quarter-mile north of the crossing. The driver sustained serious injuries in the crash and was taken to a Rockford hospital. Officials say the train did not derail and was not containing any hazardous materials. The crash is still under investigation.
Teams are swooping on the ground in Boone County, assessing damage from those storms in the county that happened earlier this month. Starting September 3rd, state and federal personnel teams will survey damages to homes and property due to flooding and high winds. The State Emergency Management Agency will help determine if a disaster can be declared. That declaration could allow more resources for those impacted by the storm damage. The assessors will be in the county until September 7th.
Road work that was supposed to start on East State Street has been delayed. Construction from the entrance of Rockford University to Fairview Avenue was set to begin last night. But now the Illinois Department of Transportation is confirming the project has been delayed to a later date. IDOT gave no reason for the delay. The Packers are making a major trade just over a week before the start of the NFL season. The Cowboys are sending Micah Parsons to the green and gold. Parsons is a three-time All-Pro linebacker. The Packers gave up defensive lineman Kenny Clark and 2 first-round picks. Parsons and the Packers have already reached a deal on a 4-year, $188 million contract. $120 million of that is guaranteed. The deal makes Parsons the highest-paid non-quarterback in NFL history.
A new center for area youth officially opened today. State Line Youth for Christ cut the ribbon for its new City Life Center on Charles Street. The goal is to provide kids ages 11 to 19 with a safe space where they can learn new life skills. Now, the target is at-risk youth, but center organizers say they welcome all kids.
We certainly want to be reaching young people who are falling through the cracks. And that really goes for all of our ministries. In fact, one of our ministries reaches young people in the juvenile justice system. And so we believe God loves us all, and we want to be pursuing young people wherever they are. And so anybody who walks through those doors is going to feel loved and welcomed here.
The center was first conceived about 4 years ago. This afternoon, we've learned another State Line athlete is competing to be named Youth Athlete of the Year. We told you about a Harlem teenager last week.
Now, a 9-year-old girl from Rockford who plays softball is also part of the competition. Eyewitness News reporter Blake Dietz caught up with Emerson Matz and her mom at practice. Blake?
Yeah, Emerson Matz is a softball catcher, but she's also a survivor of sexual assault. The assault is something that she says is painful to talk about, but being an example for others pushes her to speak up. Emerson says she's always wanted to put her teammates first. When a whole catcher on the 12U team emerged, she stepped up to learn the position and is now a crucial piece of that Lady Shamrock softball team. Her mom, Brittany, says seeing everything Emerson has overcome and blossoming on and off the diamond has simply been incredible.
Her resilience to literally, she'll step up. She literally steps up to the plate in life, stepping up to help her team, helping a bunch of girls that needed her. They lost their catcher, lost a bunch of girls. She was playing for me, and I didn't want to give her up, but I knew that she wanted to help them. So she stepped up to the plate and has helped. It's amazing to see her growth in every aspect of life.
More on this story, including my conversations with Emerson and her coach, coming up at 6. Wendell.
Blake, we'll see you then. Several pieces of art were showcased in the City of Murals this morning.
4 murals, each showing the 4 seasons, are now up for display at Glen Green Park. The project is a partnership between the Belvedere Township Park District and the Boone County Arts Council. The art was painted by local artist Gary Simon, who says he's never done a project on this scale before.
I borrowed my neighbor's barn. The panels are actually 5 foot by 10 foot high. They don't look that big, but you get them in a barn, and I anchored them to the exterior walls. Then I designed them, and then I shot the pictures onto them with a projector, traced it out, and then just started painting.
Simon says the whole process took about 2 months to complete.
It's beautiful. Coming up, a look at alternatives for energy suppliers to your home.
What a new report found and how it could save you money.
And coming up tonight at 6, forming metal into high-octane excitement. We'll take you inside Rock Valley stainless tanks in tonight's Made in the State Line.
And some rain showers moved through very early this morning, but the rest of the day has been dry, and we've had sunshine to warm our temperatures up, warmer than where we've been over the last several days. Those numbers will stay pretty comfortable heading into the weekend, and our rain chances stay limited as well. But there's a big cool down coming up in just a week's time. Look at that and how cold those temperatures could get in the first warn forecast a little later.
You're watching Eyewitness News, your home team, with Mimi Murphy, Wendell Edwards, Sports Director Scott Lever, and Chief Meteorologist Candace King.
A new report shows billions of dollars are being lost to alternative energy suppliers.
But a simple change could save you money this fall. Here in Illinois, consumers can pick who supplies energy to your home, and alternative suppliers bring the possibility of lower rates. But a new report from Illinois Commerce Commission shows people with alternative suppliers have actually paid almost $2 billion more since 2015. Seasonal pricing means customers not with alternative suppliers will see a rate drop soon. And some advocates say now might be the time to reconsider your supplier.
You might save yourself some money because, again, go to the supply section on your bill, make sure you're not paying more than 12 cents. And remember, if you're paying 11 cents, well, guess what? Come October 1st or, middle of September, you're going to want to call and cancel that, or the beginning of September, because it takes a month or two to cancel.
Changing suppliers is easy and free. All you have to do is call ComEd directly or go on the website, and then you can make the switch. The Powerball is nearing $1 billion.
No one matched all the numbers last night, so the jackpot is now $950 million. Wow. That's the 6th largest prize in Powerball history. It could grow even more before the Saturday drawing. The cash value of the jackpot is $428 million. Well, temperatures were in the upper 70s here in the state line today.
In fact, when we return, Candace will let us know what our weekend could look like. Her full forecast is next.
Now, your First Warn weather forecast from Chief Meteorologist Candace King.
We had some rain come down late last night, very early this morning. It wasn't for everyone, but where we had some of the rain fall, those highest totals were just under ½ an inch. So a decent amount of rain in some locations here early on, but we have since dried out and we've actually had a pretty warm and comfortable afternoon. We look live with our SkyTrack camera here out in Freeport at the Park Hills Golf Course. This brought to us by Rockford Career College. We've had those cumulus clouds build up over the last several hours, actually throughout much of this afternoon. That wind turning to the northeast, a sign that that kind of lake enhanced cold front has passed through, now stretching down to the south. And we can actually tell where that front lies with a couple of isolated showers that have developed and a few rumbles of thunder there, mainly south of Interstate 80. So with this front passing down to our south, our rainfall chances, or at least any additional precipitation chances, remain pretty limited here through this evening. High pressure that will continue to build in and kind of rule the roost here as we go through the weekend, staying over the Great Lakes and keeping us mostly dry. There's a couple exceptions heading into tomorrow, and we'll talk about that in just a moment. 77 our temperature in Rockford, 78 in Rochelle. You're at 80 right now in Dixon and 81 currently in Sterling. As we go through the night tonight, that number will drop down to around 51 degrees. We will clear out from the cloud cover we have right now, and as that temperature drops, our winds will lighten up. There may be some patchy fog that does develop through the night tonight. 78 for our weather watcher Terry in Genoa. North wind now at 5 miles per hour, just over 3/10 of an inch of rain coming down. When we look at that future cast as we go through the night, you can see those showers trying to form here, especially to our west and southwest here through the overnight hours. Heading into tomorrow, we see a little cloud cover building in. Now we've got high pressure over the Great Lakes that keeps some drier air moving in and kind of pushes that moisture a bit further off to the west over sections of western Illinois and even back into eastern Iowa. But there's a very subtle disturbance in the upper levels of the atmosphere that comes through during the afternoon and evening. We do have some dry air in place, so any precipitation that tries to develop up to the north is likely going to struggle to really make it to the ground. But as we get a little further into the afternoon, I cannot completely rule out perhaps a sprinkle or a very light shower there late afternoon through the evening and perhaps going into very early Saturday. This is likely not going to add up to much, and most of this will actually stay focused a little further to our west with high pressure centered off to our east. Drier conditions then can be expected once we head into Saturday night and then going into Sunday, and our temperatures will warm as well. 75 for our weather watcher Jean down in DeKalb. She's got a light wind at around 7 miles per hour. We're at 72 for tomorrow afternoon, so just a touch cooler than where we sat here for today. day. If we do end up with a little more sunshine, we may bump that temperature up a degree or two. But again, I held on to that isolated shower chance there in late into the afternoon. I don't think this will be really any concerns for week one of those Friday night football games. You may have to dodge a sprinkle or two there at kickoff right around 7:30. Temperatures will be in the upper 60s and low 70s, but we'll gradually see those numbers drop down through the mid 60s there as we get a little further into the evening. Looking ahead into the weekend, there's that high pressure system that remains in control here. You've got travel plans through the weekend. You will have to watch for a couple of showers there out to the west and mostly up to the north. But again, severe weather or anything significant not really expected, just a couple of showers here and there, primarily out well to our west. 74 on Saturday. We're up to 77 then by Sunday. We do get a little bump into Labor Day itself and for Tuesday as well, but another strong cold front and a deep low pressure system developing towards the middle to end of next week could bring those temperatures down. Guys, notice that 65 at the end of that 7-day.
I noticed it. Thank you, Candace.
Scott's next with sports.
He says Packers QB Jordan Love was getting lots of workout today in practice, more than normal.
Now sports with sports director Scott Lever.
The Packers are well aware they need to get off to a good start this season since their first opponent will be the Lions next Sunday. That's why it's important for Jordan Love to be in rhythm from the get-go. Matt LaFleur had Love going full speed at practice this morning, getting in those reps.
Definitely been beneficial just to get back in the flow of practicing, competing, making sure that his fundamentals are crisp, because when they are, I think, he's as good as anybody.
There will be a lot of action in the NFL, not just on the field, but when it comes to wagering on games. The American Gaming Association estimates that $30 billion will be legally wagered on the NFL this season through licensed sports books. It's almost a 9% increase over last year. That total far exceeds the amount of sports betting on Major League Baseball and the NBA, despite the fact there are far fewer NFL games. College football games will be everywhere this weekend. The Fighting Illini will play under the lights tomorrow night when they host Western Illinois. This will be the fourth time overall that these two programs have played each other. The Illini won the first three. And the Illini ranked 12th in the nation. Quarterback Luke Altmaier is back and ready to lead the way. He has the added responsibility of being a team captain.
Captains are leaders, visionaries, people who are not afraid of new territory, like this team. We're facing a lot of new expectation, a lot of new waters. Approaching it with the right attitude of a Christ-like mindset, being tough as it gets, tough as nails, and resilient.
My, oh my, do we have some great games coming your way this weekend on our stations. Here are three whoppers on Saturday at 11 a.m. Number 1 Texas at number 3 Ohio State. That's on Fox 39. At 2:30, number 8 Alabama at Florida State. That's on WTVO. At 6:30, number 9 LSU at number 4 Clemson. That's on WTVO. And if that's not enough, we got this one Sunday night at 6:30. Number 6 Notre Dame at number 10 Miami, the U. That one is on WTVO. That's sports. We'll be right back.
Pretty quiet out there this evening. The First Warn Interactive Radar brought to us by Rockford Glass and More. I think any showers will likely stay to the south with the passage of that cold front. A little patchy fog will be possible tonight. Temperature down around 51, 72 for tomorrow. Drier and warming up heading into Labor Day.
Thank you, Candace.
And thanks for joining us. We'll see you again at 6.